Hi, I'm Jay Lidster.
This is Arnold T. Blumberg.
This is Tali Harari.
Hi, this is Rizal Januk.
Hi, I'm Mike Sunday, and I'm an options screenwriter.
This is Ron Greenfield of Aspects of Entertainment.
Hey, everybody, listen up. This is Steven Skaya, writer of TV and movies.
Hi, this is Rick Dominicus.
Hi, this is Gordy Hoffman from the Blue Cat Screenplay Competition.
Hi, I'm Tom Krajewski.
And I'm Jennifer Muro.
We are screenwriters.
Hi, this is Tom Gray from PlayerPianoMusic.com.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Travis.
And we're of the Dan
and Travis
Show.
Hi, this is Simone from Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Smallville, and Life Partners.
Hey everybody, this is Sammy Cat. You might know me as the Witty Knitter.
Christopher J. Garcia here. Welcome to the Handsome Timmy D Express.
How do you write a screenplay? How do you make a movie? How do you create a TV show? I'm Tim Davis. I'm an award-winning screenwriter and television producer with 12 years of industry experience. I invite you to join me on this journey of getting to the heart of the creative life. On this podcast, I will be interviewing every possible position I can find in the entertainment business and the creative arts. From writers to producers to actors to podcasters to DJs to knitters. If they're creating something, I'm going to interview them. There's no one secret formula to bringing ideas and dreams to life, but there's lots of wisdom, insight, and trial-by-fire mistakes that can help, inform, and even entertain you. So whether you're writing your first screenplay, are a grizzled vet, or just want to know how all this works, climb aboard, sit back, relax, and enjoy. There is always room on the Handsome Timmy D Express.
I love it. Let me say one quick thing that that you do this, and that you have people on who are helpful from all different aspects. This is the only podcast that I've heard that has a novelist on, it has a publicist on, and a producer on, and you had me on. And it's nice to have that cross-section of people with varying levels of quote-unquote success.
Hi, this is Dal Walton, and I have one thing to say to you. Thanks for listening to the Handsome Timmy D Express. No, wait, it's two things. Keep on writing. Thanks for listening to the Handsome Timmy D Express. Just two things. No, three things. I forget about it.
It's the Dan and Travis Show. It's so great and it rules. It's the Dan and Travis Show with Gabe and Tim and Stu.
Stand by for Radio Genius.
It is time now for the Dan and Travis Show.
So Tim's back
Yeah.
for 2016. I know it's a little late for us to be doing this because it is already practically March, and by the time this goes up, it probably will be March, to be honest with you.
And my first was that Jeb Bush was going to drop out of the race, so I'm already up by one. Boom.
Excellent. I am at the end. We're going to ask you for your Oscar predictions. This is going to go up after the Oscars.
Oh, really? Oh, thanks for the heads up on that.
So we'll be able to see how you did.
Are there any other Bush brothers at this point that are going to come out of the woodwork? I think we're done, right?
Yeah,
I think there's a Harry.
Harry Bush, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think
it's Harold, Dan.
Sorry,
Harold Bush.
It's Harry to his close friends.
Yes, yeah.
And then of course there's Chevron, who goes by the name Shaved, which is really strange. Yale's a weird place. They just have the weirdest nicknames.
Yeah,
up at Yale.
it's all the skull and bones bullshit and everything. It's you don't want to get into it. Yeah,
indeed. But so we're going to go over your. Sorry, go.
I said Cousin Prickly of the Bush family. I'm thinking of a million now. You got me started. And then of course there's the cousin Bush. I don't remember his name, but I think he was very heavy. I think he weighed something like 16 stone. Oh, come on! All rock fans from the 90s absolutely popped on that one.
Took me a minute.
Don't act like you don't know that.
We'll edit in
20 years
We'll edit
ago.
that down to react quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
So we'll go over your predictions. So this is the Handsome Timmy D prediction show. We'll go over your ones from last year, and we'll see what you have for this year.
Yeah.
So
I should point out all my predictions were actually technically correct, even the ones that were wrong. So
excellent. Technically,
I'll get into that. I'll get into all that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. It's in the bylaws. I didn't write this one down, but the final prediction you made, I don't know if either one of you guys listened to it, but was that that our show would be bigger and better than ever. The better part, I think you have correct, because we just every time gets better. I don't know about bigger though.
So much better. No, we've honed it skill wise, but content wise, maybe too. You could make that argument.
We need to crack the international market. Once that happens, boom. Because I'm telling you, Australia is practically carrying the Handsome Timmy Express. Good day,
Luxembourg.
mates.
Yeah,
Luxembourg. Yeah, international is the way to get. We'll figure that out. I predict we will figure that out this year.
The bigger part is
bam. I'm 2-0. Cow.
It's a way to start things off.
So the first one that you made was that there would be advances in the field of transgender civil rights.
Yeah.
Kind of on the back of Transparent and some other things. I don't know how you quantify this, but I suppose we could say that this was true.
It wasn't as big a deal as I thought it would be. See, Time Magazine did an article, I believe it was a cover story too in 2014. And everything, and they sort of followed up a little bit in 2015, but we didn't have that, like, be it Freddie Mercury, Greg Louganis, Ryan White was AIDS, I'm sorry, but like Freddie Mercury, Greg Louganis, kind of like person that, like, icon that we could turn around and wrap the whole thing. Well, we did have Bruce. Wait a second, I totally forgot about Bruce.
Caitlyn Jenner, yeah.
I totally forgot about Bruce. Well, you know why? Because she's kind of a dick, so I kind of forget about him.
Well, yeah.
So actually,
somebody,
boom,
right?
I nailed it. Wait a second, Vanity Fair in the cover, we did have a huge advancements of transgender civil rights and acceptance and things like that because of Caitlyn Jenner.
There you go.
So I was right. I only forgot about the biggest transgender story of the year. Because that was 2015, wasn't it? Yeah, because that was after I moved.
I think so, yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing with this 24-hour news cycle is this stuff happens and then you forget about it the next day.
See, it's funny. I thought that was 2014, but...
Oh, that was like 20 minutes ago.
That was 2015, yeah, June 1st. June 1st. Okay, so yeah, boom. All right, so already I'm perfect.
Excellent. 1 for 1. You said the bacon fad would go away. You called it the knot of. It was becoming like knot in 1994 or whenever that was.
And it didn't really go there. Knot's making a comeback. I'm seeing that on Facebook all the time. Like, geez,
really?
Good.
I'm seeing it all the time. But the bacon fad. Okay, it didn't happen to that extreme. But in my defense, because we're doing video this week, I'm doing all kinds of gesticulations that nobody else can see. In my defense, on The Kitchen the other day, my new favorite show on the Food Network, and this was January of 2016, they said that chorizo is the new bacon. So I'm taking that as a, boom, Handsome Timmy.
As the death knell?
Absolutely right. And they didn't say my name, but they kind of looked in that camera to kind of say, to give me that nod. Dude,
sure.
You were right, Handsome Timmy. You were right.
Chorizo is the new bacon. Amazing.
Now,
it's
I know
really
Julian
good.
Marks is mad because linguiça is not the new bacon yet.
No, linguiça is not even the new shinola.
It's not even the new kielbasa.
Right, exactly. Linguiça will always be linguiça. But anyway.
Then the next one, Star Wars.
Yeah, you said that it would be split down the middle where half the people would hate it and half the people would love it.
Yeah, it wasn't down the middle. It wasn't down the middle. Most people loved it, which I'm glad to say. I'm glad to be wrong on that one.
A very that was a pleasant surprise. I was I wanted to see it again, and I still haven't.
I've seen it twice. Yeah, I made sure to see it twice. I've seen every Star Wars movie at least twice in the theater.
Yeah, there's like a $2 theater here that I think probably must have it by now. I don't know. Is it still out other places too?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
it's going to be out for a little while.
I still have not seen it at all.
What?
Zero. Yeah.
I
just haven't had a chance.
So you don't know about how they explode the Death Star?
Travis is in
again?
that camp. Travis is in that camp that is like, nah, I'm not going to. I hate that. He's in that small camp.
I'm not going to see it.
What's funny that happened with award season was, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Straight Outta Compton stayed in theaters. Now, I know this was probably just select cities like LA, New York, and Chicago where there's voting members for the awards and everything. But they kept Straight Outta Compton, I believe, a few weeks in theaters after the Blu-ray release. So, and I think they're starting to explore that, and they're starting to see a lot of that exploration of, hey, let's release something on Blu-ray in select cities and on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and things like that. So I don't think Star Wars will be out of theaters too. Even after the Blu-ray comes out, you might be able to find it in some places here and there.
Wow.
I will say this, yes, there is a fanboy contingent who, of course, with the best Star Wars movie, maybe possibly ever, yes, I said that, I would think Star Wars Force Awakens is without a doubt the most complete Star Wars movie. There was a contingent of fanboys who turned around and said, but it's the same movie the first one. It's the same movie the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a dip sigh, I've had to say this on the social media several times. This movie was a $4 billion empire was riding on it. $4 billion. If Force Awakens failed, I mean, I don't even know what would have happened to Disney and the money they would have lost, because we had amusement parks, things like that. So they absolutely had to put out a movie that sent the message, don't worry, to the entire Star Wars universe. So they absolutely, on purpose, by design, did a very familiar, very safe, very comfortable Star Wars film. And for people who are criticizing that, I'm sorry, you are just not seeing the big picture.
They're dickheads. They're hairy bushes.
Yeah,
bushes.
and Cousin Prickly, too.
They're Harold
Yeah,
bushes.
they're more prickly than they are hairy, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
But if you recall, Tim, you sort of did, in the beginning, which I think was smart, you kind of did the reverse jinx, where you were like, look, I'm going into this, and I don't have a good feeling about it. So I think it was good. You didn't get your expectations too high. You know, you set a reasonable bar for...
I kind of watched looking sideways, like out of one eye. I did. I watched, and then after about 10, 20 minutes, I'm like, wait, this is okay.
Okay, I get it.
And I'm like, wait, this is pretty good. And Daisy Ridley is just amazing. She is just absolutely amazing. I can't gush about her enough, and I don't mean because she's like hot and stuff. I mean because she's actually a super, super good actress who carried an extremely difficult film on her shoulders and did a fantastic job. I completely bought into her character. If I was a little boy, Rey would be my hero. She was absolutely fantastic.
They left her out of
don't get me
board
started.
games and all that shit. And yeah, it's what a nightmare. God, I don't know how you do that. I mean, you know, like you're saying, $4 billion empire, and they fuck things like that up in 2016 or 15. Like, how do you know? It's just mind-boggling. That
some things do slip through the cracks, sadly. So, and then the next one, I kind of did the same thing. I thought I would be wrong. I was so cynical. I did not think football would come to LA.
And this one, I think it was a slam dunk the other way, that you got dunked on.
Yeah.
This one, I think. It's not like it just passed by a little bit. I mean, I was looking today just now, and it said it was a 30-2 vote to bring them. I don't know who the two teams that voted against it were.
Now, probably... it wasn't Kraft, but I would think Kraft was going to block this as a fuck you for Deflategate, if I could say that. Sorry. Or hold on. I figured Kraft would vote no as a screw you for Deflategate.
You could say fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I did both now. So now I did the syndication version and the cable TV version.
Right.
But I don't think it was him.
When this runs on Nick TV, Nick Kids TV.
You know something? You never know. That might be one of my predictions for 2016, Travis. I'll have
it. Could be. You're right. I'm jumping.
But for 10 years, I've been listening to sports radio all the time. I know far more about Kobe Bryant than I'd ever care to admit because I listen to sports radio here in LA. And I have been hearing for 10 years, it's coming. Football's coming, and then nothing happens. So in my defense, that was where the cynicism came from. I am kind of glad they're coming, even though the Rams are playing the Patriots this season in Foxborough. So,
of course,
and they would have been shocked because Bill Belichick even said that he heard the audience cheering in San Diego. He heard the crowd cheering and turned around and was like, "Oh no, what happened now?" And he turned around, the Patriots had intercepted. Southern California is a huge Patriots fan base, so sadly we're not getting that. But anyway,
I mean, there's probably the more popular teams, I'm sure, have tons of I'm sure there's a lot of
tons of split. Yeah.
Now
the next one I nailed, except by a month because it happened in January. Was
it just happened.
I knew, but I was some.
Well, we're not doing it till now, so really it's
But when I dip into the ethereal universe to make these predictions, it's not an exact science. It's not down to the day, and it's a leap year. 2016 is,
and really it just needs to have happened since the last time you predicted anything. It doesn't have to be
what I was
in the calendar
because
year.
We're doing the show now, so anything up until the show counts, right?
Just because we are looking so much and there's so much technology. I don't know if this was the reasoning I gave last year. It might have been, but I'll say this year is like we now have so much technology, even with our own hands. It's so easy for amateur astronomers more than ever to put something in the sky, look up in the sky and say, hey, wait a second, what the hell is that thing? And that is only going to drive the professional astronomy. That's only going to drive all of these things to further and further. And I think it's only going to continue that each year. I think there's going to be some major cosmic discovery that makes us go, whoa, what the hell is this? What's going on?
So this is a standing prediction? You're just like every year?
Well, no, I am doing different ones. No, I'm doing different ones. I didn't cheat that one.
That's right. But so did we even mention what the one was?
Yeah, we proved black hole. We proved Einstein's gravitational theory of black holes, which is really complicated. I don't want to get into all the details right now. It will take up the whole time. But basically, it was basically
no. Please do go back. Tell us exactly how it works.
Basically, we discovered by analyzing certain gravitational waves.
They dropped a giant apple into the black hole to mimic Newton,
right?
And that's how they.
If you're just going to make fun.
So that one was correct. Gravitational waves, so major cosmic discovery.
It's one of those weird things. This is something that Einstein theorized about, and I mean that's why you saw a lot of like Einstein is right, and this has just honestly a huge ton of implications for space travel, space time, what our universe actually means. This is. I saw a scientist on TV who said it's not like finding fire, but it's kind of like finding oil. Like all of a sudden, we have now found this new material that is just going to add a theory on top of theory on top of theory, and possibility on top of possibility on top of possibility of what our universe actually is and how it works. And I think that's a really big deal. It's like the oil of space. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And then a major internet event to change our way of life.
I think maybe this whole thing with the emojis for the likes, which just happened today. I think that's the one.
Change everything. I mean,
I think that's it. I think we could shoehorn that in.
I was thinking more along the lines of like I know there's guys who are playing with cybernetics and things like that, to where you can actually plug the internet into to get the internet to move as fast as the speed of thought, and to actually have us plugged in the internet and things like that, where you'd be able to like surf the web by blinking your eye and things of that nature. There are guys working on that. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
I thought one of those would come true this year, but sadly not.
Yeah, they do have those little. This isn't really an internet thing, but they have those little discs that hold like 500 terabytes. The little piece of glass that I guess is also indestructible somehow. And when I say 500 terabytes, I could be way off.
Have you traveled in the future to find one of these? Dan?
I did. It's an amazing thing that happens. I'll look it up while we're doing the other stuff.
But it's not that actually is probably not. That doesn't sound that impossible. I mean, 500 terabytes is probably.
I know that there are guys
nowadays.
There are people looking into it's like liquid crystal displays, and they want to figure out how to make computers in liquid. How to make like information and stuff and things like that. So your hard drive would basically be like this constantly moving, like bowl of water that would sit on your desk, and it would constantly be moving. But that would keep it from like going. I don't know exactly, and we haven't done it, so it's not a successful thing yet. But I think I saw and read something about that where like if you can keep the computer moving at all times, it'll last longer. It'll regenerate more, it'll recharge more, things of that nature, because right now they just sit and get stagnant and all that kind of thing. But who knows? We tried flying saucers in the 50s, and we're still flying in planes.
Yeah.
Well, somebody was talking recently about how it wasn't that long ago. It was like the late 90s when they were like, we're not going to be able to get the transistors any smaller to get any faster than like when the whatever they were, like the Pentium computer came out. And then they were like, "Oh no, wait, we can."
Yeah.
Totally. And then we just jumped ahead to the point now where it's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe in can't. The older I get,
they keep hitting these walls that go away within like 6 months. Like, we figured it out.
Can't is a really strange thing. And
the prickly bushes of our time are the ones who are always like can't, and then the Jeb. I don't know who the fuck comes along. Somebody else comes along and says we can.
Yeah, why not? Let's try it. So let's talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I did find this just quickly. It's a nanostructured glass. It's I was off by 140 terabytes. It's 360 terabytes. They can withstand 1,000 degrees Celsius. and remain readable for billions of years.
You know how many terabytes that is?
360
Yeah,
terabytes?
you know how many terabytes that is? That's probably twice the amount of terabytes that you could download off Pornhub. That's a lot of terabytes.
Yeah.
That's a crazy amount of information. Or it may be half of what you can download off Pornhub.
It's probably half,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, boy. So let's move on to the thing.
All right,
that
so
you
what's
have.
going to happen in 2016? Are you
Yeah.
ready? All right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's shoot off the football thing. That was my number 2 thing, but we'll start with that. The Rams are going to suck. They're going to suck ass. I would not be surprised if Jeff Fisher is fired after 6 games. I don't care how aging that defense is. Okay, it may be smart to cut some of those defensive players before they turn into the Indianapolis Colts defense, but they're going to suck ass. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I don't know if they're going to go after Peyton. Maybe they'll pick up RG3, but I think this is going to be a flailing team that is going to feel the pressure. They're already right now the number 3 most valuable team in the NFL. They jumped.
The Rams?
When they moved to LA, they went from it now goes Cowboys, Patriots, Rams. And they resemble one of those other teams above them, and it's not the Patriots. And I think they're going to suck ass. However,
I'm sorry. It is crazy though the amount of money that they talk about throwing around when these teams change hands, or when they sell the media rights or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think was it the Rangers did that a couple of years ago, or the Dodgers or something, and it was
and the Dodgers
it's just this entity you're valued at $2 billion.
And they're fighting over it still with Time Warner Cable and DirecTV and all these kind of things. There's a huge nasty fight going on out here still, I believe, to this day. It's
easy to throw around those numbers, but when you stop and you actually think about what it means, it's just completely a different. It's staggering. It's a completely different stratosphere of everything.
And now they're looking at these teams. The team now that is going to have to solidify those numbers. I mean, I'm sorry, this isn't Bruce Arians coaching Brent Roethlisberger or some kind of dream team coming to town. This is. I don't know who they are. Look, they may be rebuilding their whole team in the offseason, be pretty good. I don't have a lot of faith in that happening. Jeff Fisher is kind of riding on an old record, and I don't know if he's going to be the guy to rebuild this team. So I see him going. But the LA experiment is going to work because, on their point, Travis, so many people bought season. LA is so NFL hungry. If anybody tells you, well, there's so many transplants, people don't really like sports, there's so many fair weather fans, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about LA. They have
those people love the Lakers. Are you kidding?
Clue. This is even now, the Lakers are imploding. People are drinking at how bad the Lakers are doing, but they're still the Kobe Bryant. The Dodgers are still going to be selling. The LA Kings are absolutely an institution in this town. I don't know of any fair-weather Kings fans. People who have been watching Kings since they were like little kids. People have been watching Dodgers and Lakers since they were little kids. It's very underestimated how big a sports town
I think
LA
a lot of the people
is.
who you know there are of the age when Gretzky got traded to the Kings.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's when they kind of became because that was just a big deal for him to go there.
Oh God, yeah. It was the first 30 for 30.
Make it a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but the guy though, the icon is Robitaille.
But it started with Gretzky. I mean, it's
absolutely
not,
no, not arguing at all. And we have now with Jonathan Quick, who's arguably one of the greatest goalies of the modern era, and maybe ever, is going to get a statue outside of Staples Center one day. And we also are supporting multi-world champion LA Galaxy as a soccer team. We will be able to support a football team. And what's that? Major League Soccer. Yeah. I've seen David Beckham play a bunch.
David Beckham.
Yeah, he bends it. And the LA, but we do have a fair number of transplants, a fair number of city, but a fair number of people from outside who will also
in any big city anymore, though. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
that's true in Boston. That's true in New York. That's true in Chicago. That's true in all of Texas. Half of those cities are full of Austin is full of people from Idaho or Ohio or whatever. So
the Rams are going to suck this year. I think they'll get better. I think they'll have to get better. But
it just makes more sense. It makes more sense to say LA Rams to me. So just what I remember from being a kid, and so
but
I never got used to St. Louis.
Can LA support others? Because apparently there's can it support more teams? I mean, is that really feasible?
Yeah, I think so. Oh God, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think the Raiders would be a really good option to come here. I don't know if I would go to a Raiders game, but I think it would be a really. There is actually a huge contingent of Raiders fans still to this day who are chomping at the bit to get the Raiders back, and I think they will actually. I think the Raiders are going to be the team to come. I think San Diego and the Chargers are going to continue to make a deal and make that happen. Yeah, I do. The weird thing is the real competition for the NFL is actually USC. And UCLA. USC and UCLA are one of the most watched TV events in town, and that is absolutely a lot of the football loyalty is to those teams. And that's going to be what the NFL has to exactly. And they happily filled that void. I'm shocked the USC didn't get John Harbaugh. Shocked, but there you have it. Moving on, for those of you who don't like comic books and comic book movies, I have terrible news for you. They're not going away, not by a long shot. Not only I don't think that bubble is not bursting, I think we're actually still looking at the peak of comic book movies to come. I think Superman versus Batman is going to be the biggest March opening in history, even though hardcore comic book fans will tell you they hate it and don't want to see it because that's what they do. The fact that Deadpool, an R-rated movie about a not mainstream character, I know he's not obscure, I don't want to say that, hardcore comic book fans love him, but the fact that Ryan Reynolds was and them were able to take Deadpool and make it the biggest February opening of all time. Sorry, guys, the studios and networks are digging in. You're probably going to see Woody Harrelson as Guy Gardner. You're going to be seeing all kinds of comic book movies coming out of the woodwork. I've silenced the hosts.
Well, I don't even know.
They are reeling from this.
Who's Guy Gardner?
He was the smart-ass Green Lantern. He was in the Green Lantern Corps, and he was a smartass.
Gotcha. I don't know how I feel about this Superman Batman movie.
No.
It seems very strange to me. Is it a thing that happened in the comics, or did they fucking make it completely up?
Working title, as my understanding, is The World's Finest. There was a whole bunch of series of them. It's called World's Finest. It was whenever Batman and Superman would team up to fight a bigger villain, and sometimes they would disagree about how to fight the villain and would end up fighting each other and having a respectful disagreement.
Wow.
There was a great...
Is it because you just want them to get along, Dan? Is that what it is?
Well,
I like to see them fight.
Yeah, so it's upsetting.
Yeah.
I also don't know how I feel about Ben Affleck as Batman, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Because I'm sure plenty of people said the same thing about Michael Keaton when that happened.
I think Affleck's going to be great, actually. I think Affleck's a really good choice. I do. I don't know about... I have concerns about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, but Jesse Eisenberg's a phenomenal actor, and I'm sure he'll bring something really interesting to the role.
Yeah. Although, that one's tough for me because... I mean, all of them are tough for me for the Superman stuff because everybody who was in the, Christopher Reeve one... was fucking perfect as far as I can tell. So, like, even Margot Kidder,
and they know that they know that Zack Snyder's probably the biggest fan of the Richard Donner Superman movies on the planet. But they're you can't just remake it. You're going to try to put your own personal spin on it. But I mean, sure. I bet you we'll see a new Green Lantern movie. There's a lot of buzz about the Wonder Woman movie. There's the dude from Jason from Game of Thrones is going to be Aquaman. That's going to be tricky. That'll be tricky, but if they pull it off,
Jason Momoa,
Jason Momoa, and
Dothraki, whatever the hell.
But I'll tell you this:
are they going to make a Peter Porker movie?
They might.
Spider-Man pig thing.
You know something? They might, Dan. I'm not even kidding. They might.
It's actually going to be a TV series. Netflix.
If they don't make it a feature, like Cartoon Network might make it. Adult Swim might get their hands.
I'm just so glad that you guys remember that.
Yeah, and I'll say this: this is not based on Deadpool. I should say the movie that convinced me that comic books are not going away is Ant-Man. Ant-Man, it was, again, not a very mainstream character, well-known in the comic book community and genre community, but Ant-Man is the type of movie you walked out of the movie theater and you saw just a bunch of 20 and 30-year-old women walking out going, oh my god, I loved Ant-Man, it was so cute. So that was the movie that's like, wow, comic book movies are now spreading away from their core audience and incorporating new viewers, new audiences. They're not going away, that bubble ain't bursting.
I think that's a good one.
I don't want to touch the Donald Trump thing, but I will say this. I think because the Republicans are so desperate to not lose their base, which is why Trump is doing so well, that they are going to make good on their promise to block Barack Obama's SCOTUS nomination, which has already been shown in polls to be extremely unpopular. I believe they are going to lose the Senate. So I don't know what's going to happen in the presidential. I don't
you did this one a couple of years ago that the Republicans would lose, I think, the House, you said.
Yeah, and they lost it, right?
I don't believe they did.
No, they didn't. But I think this is going to be. But the weird thing for me is I don't even know what the Republicans are anymore, because now you have like two Republican parties fighting against each other.
Yeah,
I think though that this is going to, and I mean even by 1 or 2 seats, I think this is going to be the thing that they're going to lose the Senate on.
It's the whole thing is just so gross. I just don't know who these fucking people are who think that it's one thing for somebody to tell it like it is, but to be the biggest jerk off in the world is not telling it like it is. You're just being a fucking asshole.
But see, they're mad,
playing off people's fears of
Lawrence
whatever
O'Donnell
it is.
said this. Lawrence O'Donnell said, "Look, it could be Rush Limbaugh up there. It's actually not about Donald Trump. It's about how mad they are against the establishment who they feel has been lying and condescending to them for years." So, I mean, that's really kind of what it's all about. It's a giant middle finger. I mean, they ran out John Boehner. They ran out Eric Cantor. They ran out Jeb Bush. They're basically saying all those guys, hey, to hell with you. We want something different. So, but on to more happier topic. Along the space theme,
okay,
if it wasn't the black holes, I would have said that the what they're calling the Star Trek engine working in a lab would have been the space achievement. And because of this engine, they basically have figured out an engine that drastically shortens the trip to Mars. We're not at warp drive or hyperspace. Don't get excited, everybody. It's not the Millennium Falcon. But they have basically cracked the code on a star drive, basically, that can get humans to Mars and back to Earth in the course of their lifetime, kind of what you saw in The Martian. So I believe in 2016 we're not going to get the mission, but we're going to get the announcement of the mission. I think before Barack Obama leaves office, he's going to commission that, and he's going to say yes. He's going to appropriate the funds, and he's going to say we are going to go to Mars. And have fun, Hillary. I don't know how you're going to land him there, but I'll be in Hawaii if you need any help. And that's going to be one of his final things, especially because Barack Obama is such a geek when it comes to Star Trek and science and all this stuff. And he's waiting till the last possible moment to announce, yes, we're going to pursue this project, and we're going to go to Mars. And
there used to be a ride at Disney World that was called Mission to Mars. I don't know if it's still there or not. I think they changed it to something else in light of some shit.
Well, that could be a documentary. Your kids, both you guys, are going to be watching people going to Mars from school.
Crazy.
They're going to have TVs rolled in or popped up out of their desk, and they're going to watch the spaceships go to Mars.
I've already told my daughter that if she is not part of one of those missions, she's failed. Want her on board. To live vicariously through her and go to Mars.
The first Golden Girl to go to Mars.
That works.
Little Lily Sophia.
That works, yeah. Blanche Devereaux, Dorothy Searle. Is that
next up? You never know.
Yeah.
Get her. I've already got her.
If you have number
purse,
2 and it's a girl, it's going to have something. A rose in there. Come on.
Yeah, I can squeeze it in.
I did this time. Yeah, I know exactly. Notice, There was no trouble there. So
she's like, oh, that name goes well together. I was like, yeah, I just thought of that out of the blue.
I believe there will be an internet advancement that will change the way we live.
Do you? Okay. Well,
and it won't be emojis.
Writing that down.
A little more specific.
Internet.
No, not really. I don't know. No, I do think we're on the cusp of something different. I think we're on the cusp of just something where the internet is going to become so personalized and become much more of a thing. And I don't mean in the sense of like, already like there's so many screenwriting softwares and office softwares that are like making everything online so you can't do anything offline. But I think we're going to leap even past that much sooner than after that. My final prediction though for 2016 is going to be that Tom Brady will finally be recognized as the greatest quarterback of all time in 2016. All Deflategate, all Spygate nonsense will finally be washed away and recognized as the bitter, sour grapes that it is. He's going to either set a record for a touchdown, have several amazing finishes. Already, I thought the Deflategate stuff would disappear in October. It disappeared basically in the second week in September. But I think even now, as soon as the season's over, people start bringing it up again. It's like, well, I think Tom Brady is going to absolutely want to solidify himself as the greatest quarterback to ever touch the football.
You do understand though that there's a sizable number of people
I'm talking about. Right?
There's a sizable number of people who aren't saying that he's the greatest of all time, but it has nothing to do with Deflategate or Spygate or any shit like that. They just think that, and his name is Gabe O'Connor, that Joe Montana is...
Well, they're going to. Oh no, there's always going to be individual people who are going to. I'm speaking generally and universally. I think it's. Remember how 10 years ago, Peyton Manning was considered the greatest quarterback ever. It was oh, Peyton Manning was so revered, and then the postseason.
Yeah, but I still think people would. I think there was a lot of people who would tell you Joe Montana even then.
Sure,
about,
okay,
and especially because Peyton Manning wasn't winning any Super Bowls.
Well, they weren't talking to us Patriots fans because all I was hearing all the time was Peyton Manning's great.
Now, as a completely unbiased observer, Tim, I don't throw around the word hero very often.
No, you don't, Travis. I've known you a long time.
But that prediction was really. I think that's pretty spot on. I think it was a heroic move for you to just.
Jeez,
to say it. You're making me just again. It's completely unbiased. I don't even watch the football, but
you're making me tear up like a Sophia in the Hospital episode of the Golden Girls.
I thought we were going to lose it.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Golden Palace?
Yeah, I've seen. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
What is that?
It's the sequel. It is the in-canon sequel to the Golden Girls, where
they started. Yeah, it is like Aftermath. They started what was it, a hotel, like a resort kind of thing, right?
Yeah. They bought a hotel.
Basically, yeah.
They bought a hotel. Cheech Marin was the chef.
He needed some work back then, obviously.
Shit.
It was all canon. B. Arthur said no. I think it only lasted a season, maybe 2.
Yeah, I don't think it was around very long. But,
it's not
quality.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, 1 season. And wait, who else? There was a bunch of people, and it was crazy.
Wow.
Don Cheadle. That's right. Don Cheadle was like the manager.
God.
Yeah, they are.
He must have been like 14 years old.
And that's right. It was Don Cheadle. Margaret Cho was in an episode. Tim Conway was in an episode. Yeah, they pulled. Bobcat Goldthwait was in an episode.
Wow.
Kim Fields. Yeah.
What year was this?
1992. Harvey Korman.
Wow.
So, I mean, look, they didn't want in the Golden Girls. They were trying to stretch it out. They came up with a story idea. They went with it. It wasn't as successful, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I'll say that if you want to revisit the Golden Palace.
But there's at least 150 other shows that you would want to watch before you ever got to.
For some reason,
75, maybe 100.
But still, for some reason, Golden Palace and Peter Porker both sound like they could also be porn movies. I don't know why that is. Golden Palace, even not so much, but it just.
But no, that could be a very specific fetishy.
Yeah. Peter Porker in the Golden Palace.
Golden Palace. Also starring Harvey Korman and Lyle Wagner.
Oh, man.
Who would you... Well, you could do Josh Gad. Could be Peter Porker. Zach Galifianakis could be Peter Porker.
No, Josh Gad is perfect. That's exactly... it's the role he was born to play.
Which guy? Is that the guy who was on the Billy Crystal...
yeah, the comedians.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The comedians, which I'm surprised didn't last longer. I thought it was pretty good.
Was it a TV show?
It was a TV show about how their show was about to get canceled.
Oh,
that was the running gag throughout the whole thing was how their show was about to get canceled.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
It kind of was, but it was actually pretty good overall. I recommend it.
Excellent. Well, I'll look for it before I get to Golden Palace, and after I do a little Peter Porker. But certainly, my friend Prickly Bush will be there when I watch it.
And their British singer cousin Kate Bush. It's not as much innuendo on that one.
No.
So those are the predictions for between now and the next time we do
January 1st, 2017.
Or whenever we record the next one.
March 1st, 2017. Yeah.
2017. Yeah.
Do you like movies? Well, let me make you an offer that you can't refuse. Have you ever found yourself standing at the local Cineplex with that smell of freshly buttered popcorn wafting through your nostrils, wondering if that new Hugh Jackman movie is really worth your time? Or have you ever lamented about that time you spent scouring the vast expanse of the internet for movie and DVD release dates when, let's be honest, you'd rather be leveling up your troll hunter, working on the great American novel, or even watching kitten videos? Oh yes, I said kitten videos. I will do the work for you. All I ask is 15 to 30 minutes of your time every Tuesday. My name is Michael Faulkner, and every Tuesday is showtime at the weekly Podioplex. your audio guide to what's new at the box office, how the top 10 fared over the weekend, and what's coming to your home theater on DVD and Blu-ray. You can find the Weekly Podioplex on the Chronic Riff Network at www.chronicriff.com, along with a plethora of other podcasts that explore the culture in pop culture. The Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Riff. Thanks for listening. We'll see you at the theater. That's a wrap!
If you could drink this podcast, it would taste like sweet, sweet hot chocolate with a little bit of whipped cream on top and maybe even some, nutmeg. The Dan and Travis Show continues.
Oh, yeah. So Oscar predictions. Just give us what's going to win Best Picture.
You know something? It's so weird. Like, this is such a strange year because of the controversy around it. And hold on. Just give me a second to look up the nominations. My money's on Spotlight. I think Spotlight. Okay. And I hope Spotlight wins. I thought Spotlight was just friggin' out of this world. I thought Spotlight was, and also I was bad though because as a Boston guy, I was fucking laughing in the theater because there were so many Boston jokes, and they're like, "How could you laugh at this?" I'm like, "It's fun. It's Boston. They're doing Boston things." I was like, "Hey, what's that smell in the corner? It's a dead rat," you know.
Oh God.
Revenant, I think, is going to sweep a lot of things too. Take a look for Revenant to like Best Director. That could be Leo's Best Actor finally, even though everybody loves Cranston for Trumbo. I don't know about Eddie Redmayne and the Danish Girl. I think it's gonna be, I Fassbender I thought was fantastic in Steve Jobs, but I don't see that one doing particularly strong. Steve Jobs was a good movie, just felt really early. Just felt like why are we watching this now? This needs to be a generation that finds this.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road is going to grab a lot of stuff too, I think, for the achievement, because a lot of people forget about Mad Max Fury Road is a lot of that was in camera. That was they literally put trucks in the desert with people doing that, swinging from things and playing the guitar in flames. There was CGI in Mad Max, but there was a ton of in camera. That's a hell of a cinematic achievement. So they're going to get a fair amount, I think, of special effects and things of that nature. Let me go to the. But it's going to be a tricky year because of all the controversy, and we'll see how it affects the show.
Well, I'm going to watch it to see what Chris Rock says.
Yeah,
because I feel like
he will say something good. He will say something good, guaranteed. But
thoughtful about it, not like just dickheaded about it. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who could have done it who would just fuck it up.
But will this deny Straight Outta Compton? Straight Outta Compton is white writers. So
really?
Will they get that? Will Hollywood shy away from that and say, "Well, let's give it to Spotlight or Ex Machina or something like that"? Yeah, and I said that right, by the way. I said that right.
Was that?
No, you said it wrong. You said it wrong.
Was that a good movie, by the way?
Ex Machina?
I get another movie I'd wanted to see and I didn't see.
It's next in my queue. I actually haven't seen it, but I've not heard a bad thing about it. Everybody.
No, neither have I. So I'm curious. But
Travis, you're not going to see any movies for at least.
I know my queue is going to end up being
2.5 years.
Yeah, exactly. My queue, when I'm 57 and I start watching.
And when you do, the movie you see is going to be Frozen. Over and over and over and over again. And let me do this. Let me recommend Tangled and Brave. Tangled and Brave. Yeah. Very fun.
I'm going to start just pre-watching some stuff now, like Paw Patrol and stuff. I'm just going to get into it so I know what to expect.
Paw Patrol.
But so that's where I'm wondering about if Straight Outta Compton will get if it'll get the nod or if they'll move away from that or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person who was not a big fan of Room.
Never even heard of it.
It's in there. It's worth seeing. I would not tell anybody not to see it, but it didn't speak to me as much as it spoke to anybody else.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think. For me, it's Amy, the Amy Winehouse get Best Documentary, but then again, The Winter on Fire is a big one too. So I think it's up between those two. I think The Big Short is probably going to get left out. Big Short was a great, great movie. I highly recommend it. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of the movie you want to watch with Google because it's really inside baseball. And you need to almost stop and pause and look up what they're talking about. So I think that will hurt it a little bit. But yeah, so look for... I'm rooting for Spotlight to get Best Picture. I don't know if it will, but I'm rooting for Spotlight to get Best Picture.
So that's what you're predicting.
Otherwise, I'm looking at... Something that's funny. I think The Revenant's going to take it. The more I think about it,
Okay.
everybody's just talking about The Revenant as far as like, oh my god, how the hell did they do that? And in 2016, when you can talk about a movie and say how did they do that, that goes a long way.
Sure.
Because it wasn't CGI. I mean, they filmed by sunset, they filmed by dusk, they filmed it all in camera, they filmed on location. I mean,
A lot of that going on these days.
Star Wars was a lot of that. Star Wars shied away from that. There's still don't worry. There's still plenty of CGI in the old comic book movies. Don't you worry about that. There's still plenty of work going on there, and it is good. CGI is wonderful and great and awesome, but I am glad to see that it's not completely overtaking in camera practical effects, things of that nature.
Sure.
It's nice to see those things coming back. So anyway, that's my long-winded predictions.
So The Revenant.
Yeah, Revenant's going to sweep a lot. Look for Revenant, and then Best Actress. See, I'm also looking at Bryan Cranston. I think Leo. I think they're going to give it to Leo. I think it's Leo's deal. I think it's Leo and the Revenant are going to do a lot of sweeping.
The good thing is you said Spotlight and you also said Revenant, so I could just edit it for you after the fact. Since I said it's not going to go up till after.
And you said Bryan Cranston and you said Leo. So
yeah,
we'll just
I can just put in. I can make it seem like you only talked about the winners.
Absolutely.
So that's my prediction.
So then watch Brooklyn take everything. But I just said Brooklyn. Hold on, let me do that like reels.
Everybody quiet.
Brooklyn. Okay, you could do anything with that. You could put that anywhere.
We could even just say that you went there.
Yeah, the Great Summer Inn. Brooklyn.
By the way, that cookie place that you and I and that Megan brought us to when we were in the city, I don't know if it's there anymore.
Oh, that's bad.
I could swear that the last time that I remember walking past, I mean, I haven't worked there in a year now. I mean, that was right down the street from where my old office was, but I could swear that the spot that I remember it being was it wasn't there anymore. So sorry to break your heart.
No, but, I hope they moved to a new location or took their money and run.
There you go.
Sometimes you open up a cookie shop for 5 years in Brooklyn and you move on. Boom, done.
Well, that was Manhattan.
Or Manhattan. Yeah, that's my plan. Cookie shop in Manhattan, 5 years, and then I'm out. Whatever happens.
Hell yeah. Well, Tim, how do we know these predictions are true?
Because if you didn't hear from Handsome, it just ain't so.
Did I fuck you up by saying true?
No.